Hi there, welcome to your money reading. I hope that this will be a resource for you on your journey. We are going to jam pack in all the aspects in your chart that are connected to money and prosperity. Now, we're going to focus on prosperity. Prosperity is this connection of fortune and luck in your chart. Now, when we look at prosperity, we would look at the part of fortune. Because this is a money reading, I'll include Jupiter for you. And you're in luck because both of these placements are in your ninth house. And they both represent ease and not having to put in a lot of effort. Now, the ninth house is connected to higher learning, education, traveling, and so you may naturally be a traveler, somebody who is easy to kind of get up and leave, even if you don't necessarily travel across many states or internationally, even though I do see that that's possible with your Jupiter specifically. But your part of fortune in Taurus could be less of a physical traveler, more of a person who just explores through study and things like that. However, there's also this layer of with your part of fortune in Taurus that you may travel and collect, be like a collector of the things that you do. Um, Now, what's the difference between these two? Jupiter is a planet, but the part of fortune is a space, a calculation in your chart. And so Jupiter's luck is external. It's just this external luck that comes towards you. Where part of fortune, because it's a calculation and it's a calculation of your sun, moon, and rising, it's a personal energy. And so you want to actually do things to bring the luck towards you. Jupiter is expansion. The part of fortune is material success. It's also called par fortune or the lot of fortune. So let's focus on Jupiter. Jupiter being external luck may mean that you could be lucky when it comes to getting financial aid for education. You might have people who are willing to donate or help you. You also just may have luck in your education. So you might be a really good student. You might be somebody who you may have a special knack for educating people. So you may become a teacher that is paid very well to help people. And because your part of fortune is in Taurus, this could be teaching people about self value, understand how to win education, because a lot of people will just play the role, but certain people take their education and make use of it. There's a lot of benefits in making money and having luck with Jupiter here when it comes to publishing and writing. That's because your Jupiter is in Gemini in the ninth house of publishing as well. The ninth house is considered a place of distribution. And so, being somebody who's like a book writer or a journalist, these might be things that actually bring luck towards you. Um, and so, specifically, when I say book writer and journalist, I got to move more to your part of fortune because that's actually where you would do the action. So you might be somebody who likes to write or who should write in order to gain more presence in life. And you also may be someone who puts yourself out into the world um, on a like a vlog or like video logs or documentaries or actual books. Today, it could even be digital books or things that allow for you to share your thoughts with a massive amounts of people. So, with part of fortune and Jupiter being here, you're naturally a great publisher and could make a lot of material success and have a lot of luck through your writing. Now, because you have part of fortune in Taurus, this brings another layer of success to you, which is using your voice. This could be somebody who's like a podcaster or someone who sings. And you remember, this is ease, so you don't have to do much to get this energy going. It's a natural ease for you, it's a natural luck energy for you. People might hire you for your voice. You could be like a voiceover actor or someone who, just speaks and records themselves and people want to hear your voice. They might pay you for your voice. They might offer you to do projects that include you speaking. This could be an orator, a traveling orator to different conventions and retreats. This could be things like that. But remember when I said that you also have this natural collector's energy with the part of fortune in Taurus? And because it's in the ninth house, you might really value exotic things. And I would encourage you, if you haven't tried it already, to see what is enticing to you and maybe go and travel and explore ornaments or souvenirs. That's the word I was looking for. Souvenirs on your travels. This energy, because a lot of times when we're looking at money, right, we forget that money is getting us the things that we want. And the things that we want create a feeling that we're looking for. So with Jupiter and part of fortune specifically here in your ninth house, there's a feeling of having to have ventured into a foreign place that your part of fortune and Jupiter equals as a frequency of money. So for you to travel will amplify your money frequency. It will amplify a lot more than that because your part of fortune is here. People may also, you might get into trading for things. Like, it's like, I mean, like, it could be eBay, but I'm thinking something bigger than that. Like, you have a very exotic piece of art that a lot of people could bid for, and you would be able to make money and have material success. And the material success itself might be in the traveling. Like, you might be a well-known person who has an eye for great detail in different cultures and things like that. You also, with the part of fortune, is called par fortune. You also could help other cultures, ninth house, travel, gain more wealth. Taurus. So your part of fortune, because it's this big lot of fortunes, considered this space of luck. You help also other people win at life and gain material success. So you might be someone who could help people from different areas of life find what they need in order to advance in life. And that
Because I work with astrology and manifestation, and I also use etymology, I've come to find in my experience that the moon is connected to your money flow. And from the etymology standpoint, moon is the moon. Moon is money, excuse me. Moon is money. And so, again, because this is a money reading, there are various aspects, right? We just talked about your fortune, which is something that is way bigger than just money, right? So when we talk about moon, we're getting back to the first step, which is how money flows to us. And for the moon energy, we don't have to get a job or be employed to evoke money flow. We just have to be, again, in the frequency of money. And the moon is one of the basic first steps that I say to start with. So your moon is in Capricorn. And so doing things that are connected to business, strategizing, planning your business, and this could be like your business for the day, like the things you want to get done and the things that feel like accomplishment. So the feeling of your money flow is a feeling of accomplishment, and that type of feeling really brings the money to you, which means that you could be really good at bringing money to you when you focus on getting things done. So strategizing is a big Capricorn energy, and you could strategize for your day, for your next week, for the season. If you do things like this, like make a strategy as a weekly routine or a check-in, right? And you can even strategize up to 5 years from now. This is tapping into your moon and Capricorn energy, and it feels this level of security and this internal drive to accomplish something. Now, on a daily basis, to attract money to you, you also want to get into the frequency of accomplishing things. That could be as simple as I made my bed today. I spoke to this person that I have not been, I haven't been taking care of this situation. I got it taken care of. I handled something that I haven't handled or should have. Like when you get things done that, especially the things that maybe you have been putting off, because Capricorn is like Saturnian energy. It's looking for us to be more responsible. So that feeling of accomplishment and responsibility taps you into your money flow from the moon aspect. So I broke this down by giving you a basic breakdown of your chart. So I wanted to show you the second house is the house of your income, third house is your skills, sixth house is employment, eighth house is investment, 10th house is career. Okay, so you'll see here that Libra rules over your house of income. Scorpio rules over your house of skills. For the sixth house, I use a Placidus chart. So your sixth house is mainly Aquarius energy, house of employment. Oh, this is the fifth house, sorry. Your sixth house is here, the house of employment. And you've got Aquarius and Pisces ruling over your sixth house. You've also got the North Node here. So your destiny is to find your calling. Okay, like what your vocation, your service to the world is. Getting stuck in a job that doesn't really satisfy you could be difficult, especially with the North Node in Pisces, which is a deeply intuitive energy. So you really have a good journey towards learning how to work in this environment, this employment environment with Pisces energy, which is a huge level of compassion, altruism, mysticism. Your employment is really surrounded by that. Your house of investment is Aries. Okay, Aries is your house of investment, and your house of career is mainly ruled by Gemini. However, you do have you do also have Cancer here, and you have Chiron in Cancer in your 10th house. But Gemini is on your midheaven, so it's considered your 10th house ruler here, and you have Mars here. So when we look at a chart, when I look at a chart, I like to see what planets you have, what's the focus on your money journey, right? And then you can also see where the openings are. So let's first look at the focus, and that's basically where the planets are. In the 10th house, Mars, that's huge. So a lot of your money journey, like money is connected to a feeling, employment, right? Income, investment. There's also, one could say, like donors or gains, which we would find in the 11th house, and in career, of course. So because you have Mars in career, like this is your money story, right? And the feeling of money comes from the moon, which we talked about. Your moon is your feeling of your money story. But your Mars is in the career house. So you focus a lot on the money story based off of career. That's one of the main targets of your money story. Okay, and so you are mainly motivated by reputation and by the things that you can like be a leader of, and the things that you have accomplished over time. Now, because your Mars is in Gemini in the 10th house, there can be some impatience here. It's just important to understand that because Gemini is a faster energy, but it's in a house that requires it to slow down. But what does this mean? Your career has incredible lengths to it. And now that I'm looking at it from this aspect, communications, marketing, journalism, writing, poetry, lyric writing, literary works. Gemini rules over your career house. Mars being here, your career is based off of those things. Okay, so a lot of your money story needs to be focused on your career. You need to strive for understanding what it means to feel accomplished, what it means to like have a plan for the end, like the overall bigger picture. That's one of the key things to understand about your chart. Okay, then the second biggest thing is going to be the employment. So employment, but this energy is actually a lot more foreign because employment, it has a north node in it, and the north node is something that we spend our lifetime working on. Now, people hit their north node early in life, absolutely, but you're always relearning what it means to be in your calling and what it means to have your employment. So your north node makes it so that your reputation and what you're doing towards those things, these things need to align in your money story. And I'm really getting a lot of patience required, longer term investing in understanding yourself and money because of that, because of a few things. Your moon being in a Saturnian energy, your north node being in the house of employment. So you're here to continuously work at this. And then Mars being in the 10th house, even though Mars is in Gemini, which wants to move fast, it's in a house that's requiring it to move slowly. So patience to me is like the theme of your money story. Okay. A lot of the things you may be discovering is how to get employees because your Mars is here. So Mars triumphs over your North Node. Where do you focus? You know what I'm saying? So you might be someone who needs to focus on coming up with solutions, okay? Because the 10th house is the problem solver, right? And that's where business is. Business is a problem solving mechanism. So you need to focus a lot on problem solving to ignite your 10th house. And because Mars is here, this is willful energy on a regular basis, right? This problem solving brings you into the place of service. And this is about what you're serving and how others can help you. So this is why I'm like, you may be focused on also just getting employees for the work that you want to do, or a team of people, and figuring out how you would strategize to do those things to really help you. This is the focus of your money story, okay? The houses that have less energy would be your income house and your third house of skills. So this is where you have more openings. Now you do have Pluto here. Pluto's a psychology energy. Your skills may be connected to Pluto and Scorpio things. So you might have a really good listening ear. Because Scorpio's related to the counselor, like somebody or like a therapist who listens to your trauma. So, and in the third house of communications, some of your skills might be a really good listener, a deep listener. And if it's not, then it might be something you want to sharpen and transform that. There are many skills that could happen here, but you want to think about the themes of Scorpio to ignite your skills. Why? Because skills helps with the sixth house of employment. So when you're doing your skills, you're setting yourself up for technicality superiority. So you want to think about how your listening skills can help you with your employment, either you getting hired or someone else getting hired. Okay? Now, the house of income is the most open house. So there's less of a drive to get this going in the direction you want. And in fact, because you don't have any planets here, the ruling planet of your second house, which is ruled by Libra, is in the ninth house. So you could be a traveler that makes money. Again, you could be a traveler. Remember, house of income is in the house of traveling. The Lord of the house of the income is in the ninth house of traveling. So traveling to make money. Now, the second house is also your values and how people appreciate you. And it's also a house of production. Okay, so because you don't have anything here, you may not always see that you have the ability to create your own things to sell. That would be income. Um, but there is a great potential to work with people that create Libran like things. So, like, this might be like a fashionista. I'm using cliche Libra energy, like a fashionista who creates clothing and then, publishes it out to a website, or, works with foreign retailers. So, like, the income could be a production level. Libra is an artist energy, so it's about appreciation of the finer art. Fashion is the number one thing for Libra, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be many different things. Um, but also, your second house is your income house based off of employment and how people appreciate you when they employ you. So, the values that your employers may have that they see in you is your diplomacy. You may bring a peacemaker kind of energy. Now, this is not your personality, right? Your personality is your personal planets, which means that you may not be quite a peacemaker in the rest of your life. But when you get hired for things, you may be hired as a peacemaker. So this may be also a skill that you would have to learn. And so your skills being in Scorpio, your peacemaking may come out of understanding people's deep psychology. Okay, so these are not things that maybe come naturally to you, right? You may not even see yourself as fashionable with, I mean, you do have a lot of good planets in Taurus, which helps the fashionable. But with Libra in your second house, people may hire you because of how well you dress. So let's say you go on an interview, you're trying to get employed, you need to really focus on, like, not just your cliche, interview uniform, just how can you really look put together and solidified in your ensemble, because how you look, it feels very superficial, but how you look can generate more income for you, and how you look could be the things that people appreciate you for. So they might feel like, your presence, I'm going to hire you because I appreciate your peace presence. You have a peaceful presence. You know how to work with people, not get into fights. So if you don't have that, that's what you have to do to get to ignite your income energy. You have to become more Libran and understand differences of people and how they work together, because that's also Libra, bringing in harmony differences. So this might be something that you have to work on because you don't have any planets here, but the energy is still there. You're still born with Libra in your chart in your second house. So this is your money story from the angles of the houses, and I hope that this is useful for you. So, another thing that I want to go into when it comes to employment for you is that your sixth house, having the North Node here, is a lifelong journey and really adjusting yourself towards employment. However, that would be a North Node focus. So, I just want to focus on the fact that you have Aquarius ruling over your sixth house. And Aquarius is an energy that works in teams. So, working in an isolated environment might be something that you are aspiring to do. It's tricky because you've got the North Node in Pisces, which is more isolating. But at the same time, Aquarius rules over most of your sixth house. So, you may find yourself in and out of this, like having to work alone versus working in a team. Now, the North Node is basically emphasizing to me that the goal is to adjust yourself, to sharpen your skills and technicality to work alone. But some of the energy within your sixth house might be developing trust with others in a team to allow you to work alone. It may be something that you have to prove or strive for. Um, Also, Aquarius being in the house of service and how your money works in the house of service, right? The sixth house is employment, which means that somebody else is feeding you the cash to work. Now, because you have Mars in the 10th house, you may aspire to be the one who is making the cash and paying yourself. And there's this idea that we have to work to get up to the top of a promotional space, like, or to a space of authority where Mars is. But because Mars is here and the North Node is in your sixth house, you may aspire to be the boss first before you really put in that work. And if ever finding some sort of dilemma at work, it may be because you're not in a boss position or a manager position, or at least some sort of position where you're calling the shots and making some important decisions. So your 10th house is like the main house in your money story. It is the one that's running everything. And so you may desire to be a boss first. Now, this may be a difficulty because how do you get to that level before you are employed, right? So you might have to switch in your mind, like, I'm not getting a job and working my way up the ladder. How do I get at the top of the ladder first, and then figure out how to serve from a more, equilibrium place? So you may really have a personality that's like a boss, and you may have to learn in your employment how to work with others. With Pisces and Aquarius ruling over your sixth house, there can be various arenas, like your environment of employment may be something like Pisces, like a place of care, like a massage parlor, a therapist's office, a counselor's office. It could be like a glam space too, like a hair salon. It could be things like that. But Aquarius would be actually a little bit more of a drier place, even though it might be quirky, like in itself. But Aquarius might be like you're working in a political environment, a political office, or you might be like down in the trenches with geography or architecture or animals, because Aquarius is also very big on animals. So this energy could be different, but that's basically, I'm just painting for you the environment of your employment. The energy behind your service and your vocation with Aquarius and Pisces being here is someone who's very philanthropic, very giving. And so that may be something that you have to work on because you don't have personal planets here. And you have the North Node here, so that's saying that it's foreign energy to you. So you're learning how to give compassionately. You're learning how to be someone who thinks from an altruistic place. The more that you do, the better that you will open opportunities to yourself because the North Node is here. And finally, Aries ruling over your house of investment. This is the final money house, and you also have open energy here, which means, especially with Aries being IM, the area of investment, you may not have too many investors, though you do have the sun here, but it's not in Aries, right? So you are going to have to learn how to invest in yourself with this energy. So I hope that this will serve you on your journey, and thank you so much for trusting me to read for you. Peace and love.